What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today, I wanted to do something a little bit different on this channel, and I wanted to start off with the longer term view and the macro for the markets, for stocks, commodities, and crypto. Um, so I wanted to take a look at the markets in general to start out, as well as things like gold and commodities and the dollar. And then we will get into Bitcoin, the Bitcoin miners, and altcoins. All right, guys, if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. And let's get started. All right, guys. So on Friday, we saw the stock market sell off. We saw Bitcoin drop over the weekend um, and have a little bit of a scare. So, is this time to be buying the dip, or should we be worried about a bigger pullback? All right, so let's start off with the S&P. Here you can see the S&P is up just a little bit in the pre-markets, um, but we are starting to set in a series of lower highs and lower lows. So are we going to go lower? Well, if we can hold this level here, on the SPY and the S&P, then we could see this just become a pullback in time, an area of accumulation before we make the next leg higher. We are in an uptrend overall, so long term, um, for the end of this year, I think these markets still go higher, but in the short term, I could see us starting to lose this level and we may be going lower, and we will have to see how that plays out. But I think we could possibly see that 5 to 10% correction um, that we do have in the markets, because we have been basically straight up until this point for about the past almost 7 months now. So overall, still bullish. Short term, maybe a little bit worried about what all is going on, because we know we saw some geopolitical um, things that came up over the weekend, and that tends to create a little bit of fear in markets. Although a lot of times it's fairly short-lived, uh, so we will have to see how all that plays out on the Qs. The Qs really are just continuing to consolidate sideways here. There's no real clear direction, not really any lower highs or lower lows or higher highs. So right now the Qs still look pretty strong. Obviously, this market's been led by the big tech stocks, the Mag 7, and they are still looking pretty good right now. What about gold? Well, we know that we saw this potential topping candle on gold on Friday. Um, Today, gold is opening up in the green, and right now it is just maintaining this level. Um, if the stock market does decide to sell off, well, you could see gold come back down. I think that's possible. Anytime that there's fear in the markets, generally leads to sell off across all the markets. But my long-term perspective over the next couple years is still very bullish for gold. Commodities, especially the metals, have been doing well. The economy still remains strong. Inflation data shows that we're still have a strong economy. People are still out there buying things. And, well, whenever the economy is strong, well, that drives up demand for materials, and commodities such as the metals market has been quite hot, as well as oil. So what about the dollar? The dollar is moving up this morning again. Um, so again, in times of fear, people tend to move to cash, and right now the dollar is moving up. So I could see the dollar going a little bit higher here, um, but overall, the dollar remains strong as other uh, central banks around the world, such as the Swiss, cut rates, and so that makes the uh, dollar stronger. So we will have to see what happens with that. The yields are up. We're right around 5% on the US 2-year. Um, so generally speaking, when yields go up, that's not good for the markets. The Fed was expected to cut rates several times this year. That's being reduced to now potentially just a couple times. And even people are beginning to talk about the potential for a rate hike. I don't think we will see a rate hike. I think that's unlikely. True inflation data, which is a more accurate um, indicator of what the actual inflation is currently versus the CPI, which is uh, further backwards looking, is showing that inflation is actually coming down well below 3%. So I think overall, inflation is starting to cool down a little bit. And then, I don't think that we may see necessarily what we will call quantitative easing this uh, business cycle. Are they just going to print money and hand it out to everybody like they did back in 2020 or 2021? I don't think so. I think it's more likely that the government has to do something else. They call it something else because we all know that eventually we're going to have to pay back um, all that interest on the debt that we have been driving up. And so that does lead to liquidity coming back into the markets, and therefore all asset prices rise. What about Bitcoin? Bitcoin is sitting at $66,300. As I mentioned, we had this sell off over the weekend. Let's just take a quick measurement on that. So we were down about 15% um, over the weekend. So that was a little bit scary. But right now, we continue to maintain this level here. Let me just turn this off. Sorry, guys. I'll just leave that at that. It does not want to turn off. So, anyway, Bitcoin is um, maintaining our level here. We continue to move sideways. We can zoom in here a little bit and take a closer look. That is rather annoying. Don't know why that will not go off. Anyway, just leave that at that. If we do not break above these levels here for Bitcoin, first off the $67,000 range, and then that next range around $69,000, and we top out here and begin to go lower, well, this could mean the price for Bitcoin is going down in the short term, um, but we could possibly see Bitcoin to start to go higher. Everyone's kind of expecting us to go possibly lower here. So maybe that means we go higher over the weekend. Came out this morning that Hong Kong listed, approved. It's listed Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETFs, and this could unlock up to $25 billion in demand for crypto. So that is good long term. And, this stuff doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes time for this money to come in. And so just keep that in mind. It's not like you're going to wake up tomorrow and suddenly, we've done a 2x on Bitcoin or something like that. Um, it just takes time, but we also have the halving coming up. And let's take a look at the heat map for Bitcoin. Where can we go? Well, here on the daily, we see that we have some volume down around the $65,700 level, and then down around the $64,500 level. So we could see that being swept out. Actually, what was the price of Bitcoin at the moment? So it's still, yeah, it's still above that. But on the weekly, let's take a look at that. Give this just a second to load. And we will see that there is still a lot of liquidity up around that $72,000 level. So, generally speaking, the market makers like to make money like we all do, and they probably wouldn't mind seeing grabbing that liquidity and just taking that off the table. Uh, and it may do that possibly before we might see a bigger correction. Or maybe we just break through this level and we are off to the races. What does that mean for the crypto miners? Well, the crypto miners aren't looking too great right now. Uh, the crypto miners lost this up sloping trend line. Um, and Mara is just holding this level barely right now. We could move this line just a little bit, maybe to go more in line with what we had on this previous dip. And you can see that Mara is coming right around down to that line right now as we speak at $15.65. But if we look at the RSI, we see the RSI on the daily is starting to reach this bottom range. So if we can see this RSI bottom out, then we could start going back up. So I think these are potentially some good spot buying opportunities for the crypto miners and possibly some of the altcoins. We have Riot, uh, similar chart, basically holding those previous lows, and we lost the upsloping trend, setting at $8.80 this morning. Again, the RSI is right here at the bottom. You can see every time this RSI comes down and we bottom out, then we start moving higher. Well, that leads to longer term higher prices for these stocks. We also have BitDeer, um, one of the other miners that I own, and it has lost this support line here right now. But we also have this down sloping trend line, which it has been maintaining. So we could see this possibly come down and get a bounce off that down around this $5 level. I think anywhere in that zone would be a good buying opportunity for BTDR. All right, guys, if you are interested in buying uh, stocks, commodities, or crypto, you can do so over here on Robinhood. Right now, they are offering up to allow you to earn 3% on any IRA rollovers through the end of April. Plus, they offer 8 times the national savings rate. They also allow you to buy things stocks and crypto with fractional shares. So, say you want to buy Bitcoin and you don't have $67,000 to buy a Bitcoin, well, that's okay. You can get started with just as little as $1. Um, so if you're new to investing and you want to get in on these markets, this is a good way to do it in a simple app that you can use on your phone. There is a link down in the description below. They also allow you to buy not only crypto, but things like gold and some of these other stocks as well. Uh, their platform, I'm very pleased with it. It is a good platform. I think it's a good way that to get into investing if you're new to it. All right, let's discuss this. Saw this over here on Twitter. This is from 21st Capital. Zins, shout out to them. They posted this chart here. In less than 1 week, the Bitcoin becomes harder than gold. After the Bitcoin halving, inflation rate will drop to 0.8%, below gold's 1.4%. So this chart here shows the inflation rate for Bitcoin versus gold. Historically, the gold miners have been mining gold at about a rate of around 1.5%. And well, once the halving happens, then Bitcoin's mining rate actually drops below that. So that is another reason why I moved more into crypto. For you guys that don't know me, I am more of an investor and swing trader. I don't do a lot of day trading, but that's why I got into Bitcoin and some of these altcoins. They also posted this chart here. I thought this was pretty interesting too. This is gold production versus price. The gold production increases with price. So as the price of gold goes up, then the gold miners are incentivized to mine more, which is why the gold miner stocks are going up because they produce more of a profit, but that also creates more supply, which means eventually the price will uh, top out and begin to move down again as the miners become more active. But it's quite the opposite for Bitcoin as the production decreases with price. So that means that there is less supply after the halving than um, than before, and with this increase in demand, then we should continue to see the price for Bitcoin and crypto go up. Ethereum, uh, we lost this level around $3,400 on Ethereum, and we came down to this next level I mentioned around $3,000. You see that it was bought up. Um, if we can't get back into this area up here and break through, well, then maybe we are setting in a short-term lower high for Ethereum. Um, some people may be looking to take profits at that zone. So just watch out for that. Um, but if Bitcoin goes up, I could see us breaking back up above this level. I think that this is a good spot buy opportunity for longer term investors out there, whether you're looking to uh, just get in on some of this crypto, maybe you've missed out on and want to get in for this cycle, or even as a longer term investment. If we zoom out here just a little bit, if we do see a bigger sell off in the market And for Bitcoin, well, I think our next level is possibly down here around this $2,200 level. These horizontals are the most important, and as well as the um, moving averages. So we could put something like the 200-day on here just to see where that's at. And that sets right around $2,500 right now. So maybe we do see Bitcoin move up and some of these altcoins start to rally, and then this line moves up, or maybe we kind of chop sideways here for a bit, and this line continues to move up and then eventually go down and retest the longer term moving average. It's been quite a while since we've touched a lot of the moving averages on a lot of these stocks and cryptos. And so it would be good to come back down and test those areas. Again, the RSI is coming down for Ethereum. It looks like it's starting to really level out here. So maybe we are starting to put in a little local bottom for some of these cryptos. Things like Solana have held strong. Solana has done great. Um, it held our upsloping trend line, bounced off that, bounced off this line of previous support here, sitting around $150. If we can continue to hold that area, I think that's bullish long term. Um, but if we do see Bitcoin sell off, then maybe we're coming back down to around this $100 area, $90 possibly for Solana. Again, the RSI is moving down, and um, so we'll just have to keep an eye on the stock markets and see what happens with that. Some of the other altcoins like Chainlink lost the trend line, setting at $14.40. I actually bought some more Chainlink last night. I thought this was a good spot buy opportunity. I could see us going lower in these markets, but a lot of these entries I'm trying to get are, like I said, more of swing trades to ride out the momentum of these bull markets. And so, what I like to do is anytime a market puts in a long basing formation like we've seen on a lot of these altcoins, all the altcoins are really most all of them. Um, and then we start to set in that series of higher lows. That's where I like to get in. And typically, I like to get in on that third pullback. That really, for me, kind of confirms that we are moving forward. I have bought a little bit of Chainlink so far, but I thought this was another good buying opportunity. I could see it coming maybe down back around this $10 level, but um, I'm just starting to take a position. There's a lot of ways you can do it. You can dollar cost average, which just put in money every paycheck or every week, or you can try to get these spot buys. It's pretty much impossible to time the tops and the bottoms of these markets. Although I would say, with my experience, I've kind of managed to really kind of call some of these. I remember calling the bottom on the Bitcoin when the FTX collapse happened, and I was fairly new to the crypto markets, but I've watched the markets for so long now, for over 20 years, and I just kind of really have a good sense for when um, it's complete fear and complete blood in the streets. When is a good time to buy? Uh, After I left my job, I uh, saw what was happening with COVID, and so I, whenever I was watching the news, I don't watch the news that much, but I was visiting a friend, and the news had came on, and we just sit down to eat dinner, and um, they were talking about shutting down the shipping lanes from Europe. And coming from the manufacturing background, I knew that was going to be big for the economy and manufacturing world. And I said to him, I was like, man, these markets are about to really sell off. And sure enough, within the next couple days, they just fell like crazy. And fortunately for me, I had felt like a couple months prior to that, back in the end of 2019, that the things seemed just a little odd. Uh, it just seemed like things were going a little too well. A lot of people out spending money. And so for me, I started selling positions in the stock market, built up a big cash position. And when everything fell, then I bought in and was just buying hand over fist everything I could get at the lows and made a lot of money doing it. And so whenever I saw this happen for Bitcoin, I did the same thing. And so that's how I like to play the markets. I know a lot of people have different strategies. Some people have strategies. They just want a good long term investment. And if that's you, I don't know that I would necessarily buy the altcoins other than maybe like Ethereum and Solana. Some of the bigger players, I can see them lasting for a long time. Chainlink as well, I think they're a good one. Um, we also have AVEX here, lost its upsloping trend, came back down into this previous support around $29, bounced off that, sitting at $38.44 this morning. Again, the RSI is coming down here, so potentially a good spot buy opportunity for AVEX. I think AVEX is going to do well because of the gaming um, and AI narratives that are happening in crypto, and so I could see these altcoins doing very well. Um, If you are interested in buying Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Chainlink, AVEX, or many other cryptos, or even gold and silver, you can do so over at iTrust Capital. iTrust Capital offers a tax advantage IRA, and that is important because whenever you make a lot of money, then you get taxed on that money. And so if you do that within an IRA, then you won't be taxed on that until you take it out at retirement. iTrust Capital allows you to buy, sell, and trade gold, crypto, and silver 24/7 with low cost and no monthly fee. And they have over 3,000 plus 5-star reviews on Google. I use iTrust Capital. I rolled over a portion of my IRA into iTrust. So if you already have a 401k or an IRA and you want to gain more exposure to some of these cryptocurrencies, you can do so by rolling over all or a portion of your 401k or IRA with iTrust. They have great customer service, and whenever I set up my IRA, I called these guys up. They're very helpful and friendly, and got things pushed through and got everything set up for me. So they have great customer service. You can actually call them and talk to them. That's why I use iTrust. Again, a link down below. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Twitter. I am at Mind of Financier on Twitter. I am Mind of the Financier on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So you can follow me there as well. But I will be posting over here on Twitter anything I see to do with the markets, whether it's stocks, commodities, or crypto. Because I am not necessarily a Bitcoin maximalist. I just like to trade the markets. And whenever I see a good setup or anything that may be concerning, then I will post it over there. So you can follow me over there. All right, guys, that's all for me today. I hope you all have a great Monday. And yeah, just stay strong out there, stay smart. Um, Also, don't forget to get yourself a Nord VPN or a VPN. Just protect yourself out there online. Again, there's a link down there for Nord if you're interested in that, so you can protect your identity and your profits. Be sure to stay safe and have a great day, guys. Until next time, be legendary. Take care, guys. Have a good day.